What's up, everybody? I'm the big dog named Austin. Well, at least what's with it. Yeah, right there. Big dog named Austin. That's what it says on the back of the jersey. It is week 17. Things are crazy in the NFL. We've got some standings to go through. We've got some picks to get through. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm kind of going to go bounce back and forth between the two, just because we have so much to go over. So try to keep up, because I'm just going to go over this. So Thursday night, we've got the New York Jets taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Currently, the Browns are 7.5-point favorites. Not a surprise there. The Jets coming into this game at 6-9. The Jets are eliminated from playoff contention. So this game really doesn't matter to them too much. The Browns, however, they are in the thick of things. I mean, they can technically win the division. I don't think that they will. But the Browns are already pretty much in the playoffs. They're 10-5. They don't have a playoff spot locked up yet. I would imagine that they would lock it up if they win. But I don't know that for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and pick them to win. But the Browns are in the 5 spot, the 5 seed. They are 10-5. That's big. They have the best record as far as all the wild card teams. They lead the Bills. They lead the Colts, Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Raiders, Broncos. They pretty much have a wild card spot locked up. If they get this win, that'll all but seal it. Another big game Saturday, December 30th. The Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are undefeated at home this year. Absolutely incredible at home. It's hard to pick against them. But the Lions, they're cooking right now. The Lions, they're battling for the number 1 spot. They're hot off of that win against Minnesota, winning the division for the first time in 30 years. But you know what? I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, the Dallas Cowboys, they're undefeated at home. And it's just, they're coming off of a tough loss to the Miami Dolphins. Did they lose to the Bills the week before? The Cowboys lost to the Bills the week before. So the Cowboys have lost the last 2 games. So the Cowboys are looking to rebound back at Dallas. So I think the Dallas Cowboys win this one. The Baltimore Ravens, I'm super surprised. I am shocked that this is not the Sunday night game. That must have a chokehold by whoever's got it. Let's see what channel it's on. CBS, it must have a chokehold by CBS. They're not getting rid of this game. But at 1 o'clock nonetheless. That's the part that sucks. Because I'm going to be at the Colts game. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm so excited to get to go to this Colts game. But I missed the Dolphins and Ravens to fight for the number 1 seed in the AFC. That kind of sucks. I'll definitely scoreboard watch while I'm at this game. But the Ravens, they're 3.5-point favorites at home. The Ravens look like the best team in the league. They just beat the San Francisco 49ers. No, scratch that. They dominated the San Francisco 49ers. They look like the best team in the league. The Baltimore Ravens look like the best team in the league. And I got to pick them. The Dolphins coming off a huge win against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, what more do you want? This is great football between these two teams, and it's all going to come to a head on Sunday, December 31st at 1 o'clock. I can't wait, but yeah, give me Baltimore at home. Baltimore's got the number 1 seed in the AFC. And this game's huge. Like I said, the Baltimore Ravens are 12-3. The Miami Dolphins, they're 11-4. So if the Dolphins win, they go 12-4. The Ravens would be 12-4. The Dolphins would slide up there. So this is really a pivotal game for the entire landscape of the AFC and where, the playoffs will go through. I think Baltimore, I know that Miami is kind of more of an up-and-coming team, but Baltimore is definitely the scarier place to play for any team. And if the Baltimore Ravens get a bye week, you can almost be certain that the Ravens are going to go on a run. But this is crucial. But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win this one. The Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. I don't know if C.J. Stroud's going to play. The Texans are favored by 5. I think Vegas, whether or not C.J. Stroud plays, Vegas thinks that the Texans are going to win. I agree. I think whether or not C.J. Stroud plays, the Texans win. They had a great game against 2 weeks ago, they had a great game against the Titans. They went to overtime. That was at Tennessee. The Texans ended up pulling it out. Last week, they got beat by the Broncos. So, I mean, the Texans are still fighting for that wild card spot, and it's going to come down to Week 18 against the Colts. That's what it's going to come down to. But, yeah, go ahead and give me the Texans in this one. The Titans are done. The Titans, they're 5-10, man. They're done. They've been done. I think they're going to blow it up. I don't know what's going to happen. But, yeah, the Texans, they're still in it. They're the 8th seed. They're 8th spot. They're 8-7. They're one of 4 teams in that wild card area that's 8-7, including the Colts, Texans, Steelers, and Bengals, all at 8-7. When more than 2 teams have the same record, it does not go head to head. It then goes to conference record. So the 4 teams that have an 8-7 record, the Colts, Texans, Steelers, Bengals, the Colts have the better conference record. So that's why the Colts are in the playoffs above those teams. Next game. The New England Patriots, who have been eliminated for a couple of weeks now, they're traveling to the Buffalo Bills, who are probably one of the hotter teams in the league. I think the Buffalo Bills, they've won 3 games in a row. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They struggled a little bit with the Chargers, but the Chargers turned it over 3 times. Had more first downs than the Bills did, and still lost. And I mean, the Bills are at home against the New England Patriots. The Patriots are dead. Okay, I know that they won last week. They beat the Denver Broncos, and it could happen. I'm rooting for the New England Patriots, to be honest with you, but I don't think it'll happen. I think the Buffalo Bills are making their push for the playoffs. They're making their push for the AFC East title, which nobody thought that they were going to win. I thought that they were dead. If Miami wins this week, I believe that'll end that, right? That could end that. Maybe. If Miami wins and Buffalo loses, that's how that would end that. But I don't think that'll happen. I think Buffalo wins. They are 13 straight 13-point favorites at home. So go ahead and give me the Bills. Then we've got the LA Rams at the New York Giants. The LA Rams, they weren't playing very, very good football at the beginning of the season, but they are, like I said, another one of the hottest teams in the league. They've won 2. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They're 8-7. They're the 6th seed in the playoffs right now. I think they might still be able to win the division. Maybe. Let's check this out. The NFC. No. Yeah, the Niners have clinched their division. I don't know why I didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, so the Rams can definitely still make the wild card. Absolutely. The Rams are taking on the Giants. This is, I don't want to say an easy game, but this is certainly one of those games where you're like on the road, you're 4.5-point favorites. Your quarterback slinging it, and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are both just awesome, an awesome duo right now. And you're playing really good football. And I think the Rams are going to win this. Now you'll get to the Niners game next week, obviously, but I mean the Rams could go 10-7. After the Rams, I thought the Rams were done. I thought Stafford was done. I thought this was it. I thought the Rams had just went on that one hurrah, got what they needed, and did just like, okay, whatever, we're done. Traded away a couple pieces and lost a couple pieces, but here they are in the thick of the playoffs and beating good teams and winning good football games and keeping it close against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. So, I mean, the Rams are a good team. They're going to win this game against the Giants on the road. The Giants are packing it up. They're packing it in. They're 5-10. Tommy DeVito just got benched for Tyrod Taylor. So, there's really nothing going on in New York. So, sorry, Giants. And the Giants are also eliminated from playoff contention. After making the playoffs last year, they're eliminated from playoff contention. Then we've got the San Francisco 49ers. They're traveling to Washington to take on the Commanders. The 49ers are 13-point favorites. The 49ers are probably pissed as hell that they lost to the Baltimore Ravens the way they did. I feel sorry for the Commander fans who will be in attendance. For those few Commander fans will be in attendance at this game because you're going to watch your team get slaughtered. Jacoby Brissett's the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders from here on out, though. That's cool. So go Jacoby. Go Jacoby. I'm rooting for the Commanders only because of Jacoby. I could care less if the 49ers are playing them. I don't care. It'd be cool. I don't honestly. It'd be cool to see the Lions get the number 1 seed. That's not going to happen. But the Niners are going to win this game. But Jacoby Brissett, former Colt, great. I don't want to call him former Colt great, but I liked watching Jacoby Brissett in a Colt uniform. He's taking the snaps for the Commanders. So awesome. But yeah, the Commanders are. I don't think they have a chance in this game. I really don't. The Arizona Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm not sure if this would clinch the division for the Philadelphia Eagles. That would put them at 12 wins. I think it's going to come down to last week, but this would go a long way in winning the division for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 10.5-point favorites against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, they're 3-12. They're sorry. They're one of the worst teams in the league. It's at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is kind of slowed down a little bit. They have. I'm not knocking them at all. I just think that they slowed down just a little bit. I don't see them going on a run in the NFC playoffs. The 49ers, the Lions, the Rams. Look, I don't know. We're going to get to the playoff picks in a couple of weeks, but things are crazy. Things are absolutely crazy. I think it's anybody's championship this year. I think the Ravens have a good chance at it. The Dolphins have a good chance at it. The Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are done this year. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to come back next year and ball out. This year, they're done. Okay, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, the Eagles are going to beat the Arizona Cardinals. The Saints at the Buccaneers. This game could be for the division title. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I need to see if they've played the Saints at all this year. They have, and they won. So if the Buccaneers beat the Saints this week, I bet you that would lock up that division for them. I'm pretty sure that would lock up the division. I don't know for sure. Standings. I know you love this. When I'm just like typing on my phone, whatever. So the Saints, if they beat the Saints would have 9 losses. The Falcons, if they get a win, they'd have 8 wins, 8 losses. Who do the Buccaneers? Do the Buccaneers play? No. I'm trying to see if so they split with the Falcons. So the Buccaneers need to win out, probably to win the division. Unless the Falcons lose this week. So let's see who the Falcons got this week. Later. I know this is riveting stuff. Saints at Buccaneers. This is for the division, more or less. If the Saints win, that's huge. But I'm going to pick the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorites. Yeah, give me the Buccaneers. Then the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Something very interesting. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't practice today. That's a big deal. The Carolina Panthers, though, they suck. They did just beat the Atlanta Falcons, and they did compete with the Green Bay Packers. I'm really, really wanting the Carolina Panthers to win. Really want the Carolina Panthers to win. But I don't think they're going to. Jacksonville's only a 6.5-point favorite at home. I feel like that number should be bigger. Vegas doesn't know whether Trevor Lawrence is playing. Neither do I. Go Panthers! But I don't think it's going to happen. Give me the Jaguars. Then the Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are still in playoff contention. They are 6-9. I don't know how they probably need the Seahawks to lose 2 more times, as well as the Vikings to lose 1. The Falcons, they need to beat the Falcons, which they've got this week. They probably need the Packers to lose 1. They probably need the Saints to lose 1. The Bears need a lot of help in order to make it to the playoffs, but the Bears are still alive nonetheless. They have Atlanta in Chicago this week. The Bears are favored by 3. I don't really want to pick the Bears. I'm not going to. I'm going to pick the Falcons. The Falcons, with Taylor Heineke, they're a little more scrappy. So we'll see what happens, though. But I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think the Falcons make things interesting in the NFC South. And they win this game. So, yeah, give me the Falcons. The Raiders at the Colts. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I'd be lying if I said I was confident in the Colts' chances of winning this game. I don't want to sound like a pessimistic fan, but here are my concerns. Number one, the Colts laid an absolute egg against the Atlanta Falcons in a 29-10 loss. They didn't look good on defense. They certainly didn't look good on offense. The Raiders, on the other hand, just went into Kansas City and had the game of the season. They're playing for their playoff lives. The Raiders are right now, they're the 11th seed, if there is an 11th seed, in the AFC at 7-9. The Colts are clinging to a 7 spot in the AFC at 8-7. This is a pivotal game, an absolute crucial game for the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 3.5-point favorites. So right there, I don't know if the line's going to change like it did last week because the Colts opened up as a 2-point favorite and then they were a 2-point underdog. So I don't know. Once we get closer to that game, we'll see if it changes. But right now, the Colts are 3.5-point favorite, man. And I can't pick against my team. I can't do it. I can't, not in this moment, in a pivotal game like this, I can't pick against them. But like I said, I have my concerns. I have concerns. If Michael Pittman Jr. does not play, I don't think we win this game. We have to have Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. is absolutely crucial in the Colts' success, period. Like, pay the man. This is, like, if you didn't already think that Michael Pittman was a number one, like, I had my doubts at the beginning of the season, I will admit, but he's proven himself to be a number one this year. He has. And last week's game against the Atlanta Falcons proved that even more, how much his absence affected the Colts' ability to win, ability to move the ball, ability to score more than 10 points. If Michael Pittman Jr. does play, and he's healthy, and he's ready to go, because he's also had a shoulder injury, then the Colts will win. But this is a tough game. You cannot overlook the Raiders. This is just as big as the Steelers game. Every game is amplified even more because how close you are to the playoffs. The Colts, the 7 seed, they're right behind the Bills. They're 9-6. The Bills are 9-6. The Colts are 8-7. The Texans are 8-7. The Steelers are 8-7. The Bengals are 8-7. One slip up can cost you the season. One slip up can cost you the season. You have to be perfect. You have to be as best as you can. You have to play the best you can, and you have to beat this team. You have to beat the Raiders. You have to win out, and this is a crucial game. And I think the Colts get it done if Michael Pittman Jr. plays. To continue, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seattle Seahawks. This is another big game. The Steelers, they're still in playoff contention. They're the 9 seed in the AFC. The Seahawks, they are actually in the playoffs on the other side at the 7 seed. They're 8-7. Both these teams are 8-7. It's in Seattle. The Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. I think the Steelers, I don't know if they started Mason Rudolph last week, but man, I don't know what's going on with the Steelers. I think they won last week, which is another step towards Tomlin getting above 500 record again. Cool. I don't think it happens this year. I don't think it happens this week. The Steelers, they finished off the season at Baltimore. They've got the Seattle Seahawks this year. Or not this year, this week. Give me the Seahawks, man. On the road, it's a tough environment. The Seahawks, they're in the playoffs right now, and then they don't have Geno, and they're playing this well. So, I mean, they're riled up. They're riled up, ready to go. So yeah, give me the Seahawks in this one. The LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, they're 7-8. They're technically in the playoff race. They're the last seed in the AFC of those still alive. That being the 12th seed. They just benched Russell Wilson. They're playing the Chargers. This might be the who cares game of the week. It might be. But I think since the Broncos are still in it, there's still some stuff to play for. Even with the Broncos benching Russell Wilson, the Chargers are that bad. It's in Denver. The Chargers are not going to win this game, but they're going to make it close. The Broncos, they'll go 8-8. I don't really care about this game, but this is a late game. This is a late window game. This game starts at 4:25. Another game that starts at 4:25, which also could be another game of the week type game. The Bengals at the Chiefs. The Bengals, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They finished the season at KC and at Cleveland. I'm sorry, at KC and then I host Cleveland. The Bengals are the 10 seed. They are one of 4 teams in the AFC with an 8-7 record. As a Colts fan, losing to the Bengals earlier this season, I would love for the Bengals to lose. Now, all bias aside, the Bengals did not play a great game last week. They lost. Who'd they lose to? They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 34-11. Not a great game. So either they bounce back on the road against a very hungry, very upset Kansas City Chiefs team, or they just continue to lose. I think they lose. I'm serious. All bias aside, I know the Chiefs are struggling just a little bit, but the Chiefs still have Andy Reid. They still have Patrick Mahomes, and this is an absolute massive game. There's still a chance that the Raiders win the division. They went over it in the broadcast when the Chiefs were playing the Raiders, that if the Chiefs lose out and the Raiders win out, then the Raiders win the AFC West. I don't think it'll happen. Like I said, I think the Raiders lose to the Colts, and I also think the Chiefs beat the Bengals. So there you go. One last game, Sunday night, and there's no Monday night games this week. The Packers at the Vikings. The Vikings, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They're 7-8. The Packers, they're also fighting for their playoff lives. They're 7-8. The Vikings being the 8 seed, the Packers being the 10 seed. Both these teams probably need some stuff to happen. They're probably rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Seahawks. They're probably rooting for the Giants to beat the Rams. All that fun stuff. But this game, man, I mean, it's at Minnesota. The Vikings just lost to the Detroit Lions. The Packers, they just barely beat the Carolina Panthers. And they also just suspended Jair Alexander for going out on the field during the coin toss when he wasn't an elected captain, and then almost botched the coin toss, like the receive and all that. I don't know. So they suspended him for a game for contact detrimental to the team. Give me the Vikings. I think that's look. I don't. If my best corner goes out on the field, I'd be like, dude, that's stupid. But I'm not. I wouldn't suspend him in a pivotal game that you absolutely need against the Minnesota Vikings. No way. But they did. I think that'll come into effect. I think that'll affect things. Vikings 2-point favorites at home. Give me the Vikings. But this is shaping up to be an absolute incredible finish. Some crazy things going on, man. And man, all I can say as a Colts fan, and I want to put this into perspective because I was upset after we lost to the Falcons, because we missed a golden opportunity to really cement ourselves into the playoffs. I want to make the playoffs because it has been a while, since 2020, since the Colts have made the playoffs. But more than that, I want the Colts to win the division because I haven't been to a playoff game since 2013, and I would love to experience that. And to do that, to win the division, would be absolutely incredible. I'm really hoping the Colts do, but it's going to be tough. These are going to be an excruciating next week and a half. Every day, I'm on the edge of my seat, like, man, the Colts, they've got the Raiders, man. And you know what? There's a Raiders fan. He's my boss. Fortunately, I won't see him until Monday. Actually, not even that. Wow, it's going to be a while until I see him, because I don't work Sunday. The next time I would work with him is Sunday. I don't work Sunday. I don't work Monday. And then I go back Thursday, Friday, but I don't work with him on Thursday, Friday. I work with him. It's going to be a while until I see him. So hopefully the Colts can beat the Raiders. If not, he's going to be... And because I worked with him one time when the Raiders beat the Colts, and that was no fun. He's a Raiders fan, but shout out to Kevin, my boss. I want to beat you guys. I want to beat you guys this time, So, but that's it, man. This is gonna be a tough week, tough week for everybody in the NFL. 24 teams still alive. Week 17 with 2 weeks, 2 games for each team in the NFL. We've got 24 out of the 32 teams still alive. That's all the NFL wants, right? You want 2/3 of your league to be still in it in week 17. Now next week there will probably be some teams that are eliminated, but probably not that many. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. I love the NFL. It is the greatest soap opera of all time. It is the most entertaining soap opera of all time. I love it. I watch it every week, watch it every day. Listen to all the radio shows and all the podcasts and all the stuff they have going on. Get immersed in the NFL. Give you all my knowledge. It's fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. It's going to be a fun last 2 weeks, third of the season. We're coming up on the end of it. It felt like 2 weeks ago that the NFL just started back up. And now here we are 2 weeks away from the end of the regular season, and then we're in the playoffs. And then you only have a few games, a handful of games, and it gets less and less every week until you get to the Super Bowl, and that's over. So I got to remind myself, as much as I want the Colts to win and as much as I get caught up in the wins and losses, it's still football and it's still the greatest sport of them all. And it's so much fun to watch it, and I love watching it. So I don't want to take that for granted. I want to be able to enjoy that for the next couple of weeks. Whether the Colts make or miss the playoffs, I need to enjoy it because after last season ended, I was just craving some Colts football. And it finally came, and here it is, and I am enjoying it. I really am. But it's coming down to the wire. And man, it's getting crazy. Emotions are getting high. I love it, man. I love it. That's it, though, man. Week 17 starting tomorrow. Hopefully the Colts need everything. Hopefully the Colts get everything they need to have to make the playoffs. But that's it. I'm the big dog named Austin. Let's go.